this series we'll build each kit from the Fantasy Village set by Battlesystems, discussing any construction pitfalls and build mistakes as well as kit specific build tips and possible conversions. Once everything is built, we'll test a variety of methods to colour the edges of the terrain and then finally conclude with an in-depth overall review video of the whole fantasy terrain set. Follow along and consider subscribing if that sounds like something you don't want to miss. If you haven't already, I recommend watching my introductory video to this series where I cover a few really key tips that will be relevant to this build and the others. In today's video we're going to build the well, baggage cart and the bridge. So a few small pieces that are kind of bigger than your scatter terrain but not full building, so we'll do all these in one video. I'm going to start with the well. We want the two main well pieces, the roof of the well, the side piece of the well, and then the kind of like the actual bit that the bucket will sit in. Okay, so we've got the pieces for the well, the little village sign, and the bucket. I'll start with the bucket because that needs gluing. Pretty straightforward. Use a bit of super glue with this. Should set a bit quicker. Yeah, I'm really finding super glue not the best for this. Need that to dry off. We'll have to use the PVA, I think. Build the sign while we're waiting for the super glue to cure up on that. Nice and easy. Easiest piece built so far. There we go. Okay, let's tackle the main part of the well. So you basically got the rope that the bucket sits on. Just put that through there. And the bottom brace sits into the two uprights. Oh, just lost a bit out the middle. So you obviously don't need to put that through the middle to start with. Oh, maybe you did. No, there we go. That's fine. Bend this all the way around. Oh, I'll need to be a bit more careful than what I just was. There we go, just bent that. Damaged that piece there. So that just sits in like that. But I'm gonna pop some PVA glue on there. There we go, that'll dry clear, that'll be fine. Okay, it fits in pretty tight, just there. So that's the orientation that I'm going to put it in. And this is kind of all flopping around the place, so I'm actually going to glue that a little bit as well. Pop a little bit in those joins, just there. Probably that's a bit too much really, should have been a bit more careful with that. Bit in there. It's going to dry clear, so it's not the end of the world. I think that'll be all the PVA I need in there. Pop a tiny bit on the side there. Put it in the orientation where it was a little bit tight. Once that sets, that'll set nice, that'll be fine. I should have put this on first. There we go. Don't forget to put that on first. Yeah, that should definitely have gone on first, never mind. Okay, as soon as we've got that out, I will just pop a bit of PVA under there. Just where that rope sits. Put a bit more on here. This is going to dry clear, so it'll look okay. Try and find the orientation that it was a little bit tighter on. There we go. Well, leave that to set, and then we'll come back in with a little bit more PVA if we need to strengthen it up. So, another quick go with this barrel using the PVA glue instead. I'm just looking now, so that side's not printed quite as straight as this side, so I want that side showing through. Yeah, this is potentially one of those messy jobs where you just get glue all over your fingers. Don't know if my super glue's gone off a little bit or if it's just really not working very well on the card. Tell you what, I think the easiest way to do this would be to put a bead. So this is the way the Battlesystems did it, but they use super glue, so they managed to super glue that one bit down first and then wrapped it round. But I think the easiest way is just to put a bead of PVA all the way along the bottom. It's not meeting very well at the end, so just hold that in place for a bit. What I'll do is put a bit more glue on the gap there. No, that's not going to work. Yeah, so it doesn't quite go all the way around, so not sure if that's me getting something wrong there or if that just doesn't quite work. And that's a pretty awkward shape to glue as well. Awkward shape to peg. Okay, there we go. Kind of working, so we'll go with that. We'll leave that there and we'll see how that looks once it's glued. I've glued the bucket onto the base here, which I think looks fine. I did make a slight modification to get this well to sit up sort of nice and high in the stone wall. You can see I've added a few little offcuts around the inside of what would be the sort of like the wooden frame. So I sort of turn that around, you can probably see what I'm talking about, a few little braces here and there. Okay, let's have a look at the cart. So you just need to pop out the bits that are for the cart. It says on here which bits are which. Put the side pieces onto the base. So you can see where I poked those pieces through. Ripped a little bit of the printed artwork off on that side, so maybe you'll want to use a pencil to poke those through. You might get a cleaner push through than I did. But I'm finding that is just a little limitation of this type of terrain, that you are going to get some instances like that. However, I've got a plan to pen the edges with some marker pens, so that'll be in a video later, basically going to fix that problem. Put that back piece in there. Now this is a seat, this goes in these holes here. Okay, yeah, I was wondering whether I might glue that, but no, that fits in fine. Wheels. I was wondering if I might need to glue those actually, but they go on quite well. I won't need to glue those. Shall I? No, that's fine. That doesn't need gluing. Ah, nice small bit of terrain, that. Nice little bit of village scattered terrain. Yeah, those few pieces are a little bit nicer than, or a little bit bigger than your normal sort of scattered terrain. Maybe the sign's like a scattered terrain, but these two pieces are quite nice. Imagine some missions that you'd have to do around the well. That will need a little bit more glue underneath, so we'll let that set. let's have a quick look at the bridge. Bloody hell. Yeah, look at that. I mean, I've taken that out quite carefully, but yeah, these tabs really do need to be pushed out carefully. I mean, I am doing it carefully, but if you want to get these out with 0 damage, you're going to have to be really, really careful. There we go. That's not perfect, but not a bad quick fix-up. So I'm going to put these pieces to the side for now. Need to build this centerpiece first. Lots of quarter cuts through here, so actually, this is a really good piece that shows how this terrain can really work in terms of the curves that it can produce. So I'm just looking across now at one of the roofs that I built off another model, and I'm wondering if maybe they'd have been better having more quarter cuts in them, so that when you bend them, you don't get the crease lines. I mean, it hasn't got that, so that is one of the negatives of some of the buildings. You do get a little bit of crease lines on them, but anyway, let's carry on building this bridge. So, just hooks in here. Just need to be careful because this is quite delicate here. Okay, so you got to sort of straighten that out again. Just get that hook over there. Might need to just bend that one in a tiny bit to get that one on. There we go. I think that's just a case of being careful. But yeah, you can see as I'm doing that I've got a little bit of tearing there on the printed surface. And a little bit of bowing in of the printed surface there. Which, to be fair, you get on a lot of the kits of these kits that I put together. Again, I just think it's a limitation. I don't think, I don't think you can be much more careful than what I'm being. I am being quite careful. So you do definitely get some damage as you're putting them together, but personally, it's not the end of the world in my opinion. You barely notice it, is what I'm saying. Okay, that's pretty good. So a little bit wobbly still, so that's where this comes in. Now, how does this work? That way. Oh yeah, there. So get grooves there. Get that roughly in place, make sure they're all roughly in place, and then fit that in. Okay, straight away, as I'm just handling this, I can feel how much more solid that is now. Oh, obviously that makes sense. Yeah, that's legit, that's solid. You could have these are end pieces, which we put under here. It raises the centre of the bridge up a little bit, which means that you can then put their Battlesystems river pieces underneath. I know that I'm going to want to use those if I'm using the bridge, so I think right from the outset I'm going to glue that on. So if you've been following this series from the start, you'll see as I've been building the models, to start with I was umming and ahhing about whether or not I would be gluing much of this together, how much I would be taking it apart or not. Right from the start I kind of realised I'm not going to take these models apart completely every time I'm playing with them, but I did think I might take them apart a bit more than what I've come to realise, which is that once they're built, they're built. While I got the glue, I can see a bit of the printed surface has come off there, so I can glue that back on. This is a really nice idea. It's not just scattered terrain, so the guys at Battlesystems obviously worked out that people want to, play some war games on these. That's a really nice curve, so your models are just going to slide right off. So they provided these, which we can put a couple of these on each side there, and then maybe another one there. Then your model could either be on the base, maybe there, and there. I think that'll just mean that you could place it here, here, or here. So yeah, let's glue these on. Because, like I said, I'm going to be using this. You want your models to be able to stand up on the bridge. I really like that model. I think that's going to be used a lot on my gaming table. Let's take a look at the bridge, the well, and the baggage cart on the tabletop amongst the rest of the terrain. If you've got any build tips, add them to the comments, other people hopefully will find that really interesting and useful. Next week we're going to be tackling another smaller piece of terrain, the magic portal.